you concerned about your child's eating habits, whether they're a fussy, picky eater and not eating much versus they are always hungry and eating everything in sight? How can you tell if your child is actually in healthy weight range for their age and height versus being too underweight or overweight and obese? Hi there, it's Neesha from My Favorite Physio. In today's video, I'm jumping in to share with you a case study of a boy who we've been seeing here in our clinic. This little one is 7 years old and he is here for his gross motor skills. Now, seeing him, we were concerned about his build because he seemed extremely skinny for his age and height. So having a discussion with his mother, I realized that she wasn't sure if he was normal because they have always been quite skinny as children themselves. So she assumed it's genetics. That's why he looks skinny for his age and height. How do you know when a child is too underweight and something needs to be done? So I thought I would jump in and share with you these BMI, body mass index for age charts that will tell us very objectively if a child is in a healthy weight range or they're actually needing some help and support with a dietitian or even a feeding therapist. So you'll see we have a chart for boys and a chart for girls. It is important to be able to figure out a child's BMI based on their age to know if they're in a healthy weight range or whether they actually need help with their nutrition to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And we need nutrition for our brains to grow, our muscles to grow, for us to be better at gross motor skills and movement. So the first thing you do is you calculate your child's body mass index. That is weighing your child in kilograms and divide it by their height in meters squared. So take their height in meters, square it, take their weight in kilometers and put their weight over the square of their height to get their body mass index. Then, based on this chart, which is for 2 to 20 years old, this is gender specific. So we have a boy chart and a girl chart because they develop differently. So once you get your body mass index, you chart it along these charts for their age, and you'll find that they'll either sit within these curves. These curves are percentiles, which tell us what compared to the general population, what's the percentile they sit on. So it has a 5th centile, a 10th centile, a 25 centile, a 50 centile, 75 centile, 85 centile, and 95 centile. So when we chart that there, what happens is if a child is sitting below those curves, below the 5th centile, they're considered underweight. In those situations, they need a nutritionist, so a dietitian or a feeding therapist to help them with their diet and figuring out why is a child such a fussy, picky eater and not eating enough nutrition for them to grow to their body's needs. So for different ages, we grow differently and they'll need different nutrition and amount of food they eat to cater to their body's needs. Now, if you sit within the 5th centile to the 85th centile, that's ideal weight. So instead of sitting there and guessing and going, well, I was a skinny child, so perhaps my child is going to be skinny, we can objectively say, well, if they sit within the 5th centile to the 85th centile, they're in ideal weight range for their age and for their height. Now, if your child sits within the 85 to the 95 centile, that actually is in the range of being overweight. And in that situation, again, they will need a dietitian to help them with why they're eating too much, or perhaps the food they're eating is too much calories for their needs, or perhaps they're not actually very active because they struggle with their gross motor skills. And this is where a pediatric physiotherapist comes in. with helping them with their coordination, balance, so they can be more active. Now, if your child is sitting on the curve above the 95th centile, your child is actually in the obese range, which is extremely unhealthy for them because there are other health complications, not just muscles and joints that would hurt, but also, unable to be active will over the long term impact things like diabetes, cardiac disease. It would impact their social life and being able to participate and interact with friends at school. So it is important to know where your child sits in. It's important to help support your child be in that healthy weight range for their age and height. Now, if you're concerned about your child, the best thing to do is to speak to your pediatrician. And if you would like to speak to one of our pediatric physiotherapists, the number to ring here at My Favorite Physio is 02-9790-4233. And if you know somebody out there who is concerned about their child's eating habits and perhaps their weight gain or the lack of weight gain, why don't you like and share this video with them? Until next time, have a brilliant day. Bye.